Good morning, everybody. I'm going out of the ordinary. I'm doing this early in the day and not doing it on the weekends, which is fantastic. And I am sharing this now as we speak so that people outside of Healing Hands that have not yet liked our page can. So, our relationship today, I'm doing great. Our session today is going to be over starting new relationships and how to be present in those relationships. It's not easy to maintain. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. Okay. There's so much to it. It's just not as easy as what people think it is. Relationships are complicated. Relationships are actually a lot of work. It's not as easy as what people would think it is. Relationships are complicated. Relationships are. So there we go. I can see your comments now. I'm set up. Fantastic. So here we are. Relationships in all forms. I mean, they do. We start a relationship every day. I mean, it could be with a total stranger, someone who you've met and become friends with. But to maintain that friendship, you got to put a little effort into it. It is what it is, right? And when you're building a personal relationship, though, somebody who you plan on spending time with, somebody who maybe you're being romantic with, well, that is where the work comes in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the different aspects of that and how we as individuals can become healthier in maintaining relationships with somebody without having them feel pressured or doing the don't do things, as well as being present, because it's a lot of hard work, and it really is. So I have some notes that I've made up for today, and I kind of want to go over them because you got to understand, in the beginning of any type of relationship, mainly romantic though, most of us are too busy feeling butterflies or planning an outfit or composing text messages in the early days of a relationship to consider, they're not considering much else of anything else. But there's certain things you should do to start off every new relationship. Things that will help you ensure that the vibes between you and your partner start off right, on the right foot, and continue in orderly and fabulous fashion. So I asked some experts recently on what they would suggest when I was outlining this topic, for the onset of a new relationship. And all my results, they're same. They're varied. There's just nothing really substantial. But one thing is for sure, though, strong relationships, long-term relationships, don't just happen. They take diligence, awareness, and a definite sense of being present and in the moment. And that is what we're really going to deal with today. It's learning how to be in the moment of a relationship, because it's not that easy. You can't just meet somebody and say, hi, would you be willing to be my girlfriend? Or different girls with, depending. And then expect everything to just be smoothed over, because it just really doesn't work that way. So when all else fails, one major thing in a relationship is a really smart dose of honesty and open-mindedness. It goes a long way when you're first getting to know someone. A nice pinch of vulnerability does wonders. Now, we've done a session on vulnerability, so go back if you haven't seen it. Hey, Jen. But in the end, whether you follow this advice or someone else's or the person next door that they don't know what they're talking about, they've had one disaster after another, it's up to you. Okay? It certainly can't hurt, and it might make your new partnership just a little bit more smooth sailing. If you're interested in learning, I mean, it's up to you. Come join me. You're here for a reason. You didn't just click on this link because it's a thing to do or you're bored. So here's going to be a couple things I just want to mention to you. Lay down your deal breakers. Seriously, I mean, don't settle, guys. You know, just don't do that. I believe at the start of every relationship, you should try to find a way to work a deal breaker into that conversation. You know, something that you honestly feel strong about. There's no fun talking about all the really great things and then all of a sudden you've dove head first into something that feels amazing, but it's all of a sudden, give it a little bit of while down the road and man, those deal breakers, they pop their head up and you're kind of like, okay, so what do? I really like her, so should I just overlook those things? No, don't do that. Don't, because now you're settling. And now you're saying, okay, I like her and those bad habits, which I would not normally want in a relationship with me, I'm going to deal with those because I'm already with her. If you were being honest with her and honest with yourself, those things would already be taken care of. And you had already stated, these are deal breakers for you. So then you can decide if this person is right for you before you even dwell and develop feelings. Because now, maybe a month or two down the road, you're going to realize those deal breakers that you did not dwell into with this individual are deal breakers and you're out. So it's like that Facebook status. I don't know if y'all pay attention. I hate Facebook status, guys. Really, I do. They're in a relationship. Then they're broken up. A month later, they're in a relationship. And then they're broken up. Okay, it's a vicious cycle. Let's cut this cycle out. Okay? It's not fair if you wait too long to bring up deal breakers. And I really need you to focus in on that because it is your life and it's their life. So get it out in the open. Find out if you're a fit. You know, like for instance, maybe you're one of those that, personally, me, I like to be told good morning. Okay, I want to be acknowledged. I want to know that the person that I'm talking with actually thinks beyond themselves and thinks, hey, you know, I'm thinking about her when I wake up. Let me tell her good morning. Okay? Things like that can really become deal breakers because they become an issue that person doesn't put you into consideration. And we're going to go into that as we're going along here today. Okay? All right, so take just a cold, hard look at yourself is what I need you to do. The one thing I would advise anyone to do is to start off a new relationship is take inventory of yourself. Okay? Big deal, man. Inventory yourself. Okay? I'd go even as far as to tell someone to do inventory into a journal. I mean, do that if you need to. By writing things down, it'll become crystal clear whether the new endeavors, may it be a relationship or even a new job, I mean, whatever you're dwelling into, okay, is wise, plan or not. And don't forget to write down where you see your new relationship headed, okay? And if you don't see it heading that way, then it's probably not going to go that way, okay? And be real, be authentic, be yourself. Do not pretend to be somebody else. You cannot fit someone else's life by being what you think they want you to be because you're not being authentic. And so then you're not being true to you. So let's be true to you. Let's do this. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with a potential partner. Okay? Open your ears. Here's another thing. Listen. Oh my God. This is like the biggest thing that people don't do. They allow judgment, romance to cloud their judgment or clog their ears. So sex and romance are wonderful, but using the beginning of a dating is really to learn about the person and not the sex or how comfortable they feel. Hey, Jade. So starting a new relationship, it's magical. It's that butterflies. It's that, oh my goodness, I really like her. But you didn't stop to think, do I really know her enough to want to be with her? So there you go. Open your ears. Listen. Get to know her. Don't worry about sex. Don't worry about all that other stuff. Granted, it's fantastic to have. I mean, come on, we're all human, right? We all want to be connected in some other form than just talking. But sometimes it's okay to wait, and it really is. Take your time. Get to know her. Okay? And listen to what she's saying, because you might find she's either a good match or she's not a match at all. Okay? So that's where being honest comes back in again, and authentic. If you lie about anything, they're going to find out. And then they'll know that you're a liar. And, that's it. A lot of people, that's a deal breaker right there. You lie to me, I'm out. I'm not doing liars. So you really do want to think about that, okay? Make sure you're being authentic and being very truthful. And don't try to make a good impression. Just be yourself. Just be who you are. You are imperfectly perfect. You are who you are. And with all your flaws and everything, come on, guys. We're not perfect. God, look at me this morning. I went to a job interview. I got to share this. I walked in, and let's talk about misrepresentation. Okay. I walked in, shook their hand, sat down, and I'm watching, and I'm looking, and I'm like back and forth, and I'm like, this does not seem like what they had put forth, this job description. And I was like, okay, so my warning bells are going off. But I'm an empath too, remember that. So I pick up on things a lot more quicker. Here we go. I get into the meeting. She's asking me 100 questions. I stopped her, and I says, please tell me. I have 3 questions. Is this, and this? And you're asking me all these questions, but at the end of the day, this is my time, and it's very valuable as well as yours, and I just want these answers. And, and I didn't mean to come across as being cross to her, but I just felt they misrepresented the company, and they did. And they did. It was not what they were advertising. And I was very disheartened. And I shook her hand, and I said, thank you for your time, and I left. And sometimes that's what we got to do, even in a relationship, when we meet somebody. The same thing. And that is, people tend to misrepresent themselves. And if you're listening and you're not trying to make a good impression and you're not worried about anything and you're being authentic, 9 times out of 10, the person will be authentic back with you. And you're going to see if you mesh better that way, okay? And if you're dating, well, hi, Linda. Tell your partner what you're looking for. I mean, even if they're not your partner yet, but they're just that potential partner, tell them what you're looking for. What do you want? What do you want from a relationship, honestly? Yeah, we all want this, that. We all want to be able to wake up and have a warm body next to us, someone that's going to throw their arm over us and make us feel safe. Oh, my God, that's so important. I miss that. I really do. But if I have to settle, it's not worth it. Okay? So if you're looking for a committed relationship, then let the other person know that sooner or later. Let them know that that's what you're looking for from this possible meeting. If you're not, and all you're doing is playing a game, don't do that to them. Okay? And here's another big no-no. We all have had different relationships. We got baggage, and we carry it. Some people carry it heavier than others. Don't compare. This person is not your ex, okay? Leave your past and your relationship behind. It's gone. It's over. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't acknowledge that. And I know it's unconscious for for you to feel, where you're looking at the person saying, God, my ex used to do that. Or you're acting just like my ex. No. Fresh start. Here is another thing. If you're comparing to your ex, then that means you're trying to find someone just like your ex. And then you have to start changing your cycle. Okay? Here's another really good thing. Meet the person's friends. Oh my goodness, how are you not going to find out about a person between meeting their friends? You're going to find out more. They're going to learn, the friends are going to learn about you. They're going to share that information with their friend, which is the one you're dating. Okay? And again, let's go back. We're going to step back, leave your past behind. It's unimportant. If a person likes you for you, they're liking you for you. And it has nothing to do with your past. We all have things in our past we're not proud of. We've made mistakes. I mean, what do? You going to live in it? Are you going to bask in those mistakes? Or are you going to say, well, this is who I am now. And I'm only getting better. Okay? So yes, be yourself, be honest, be real. Don't lie. Talk about what your deal breakers are and your expectations, and listen of all important. Listen. Use your ears, guys. But it's all worth it, just kicking back and finding out who this person is and savoring every moment, because it can be really magical. The rest, it'll be there when time unfolds. Okay? Now we're going to get into a really spin-off from what we were just doing. The don'ts of getting into a relationship. And that is, first, think, okay? The endorphins are fueled. It's a fueled stage. It's new love. You're lucky enough to have found someone you're really into, and things are going swimmingly between the two of you, right? Okay, you've recently made things official and you don't want to mess this up. So here is going to be some really important do's and don'ts. All right. 1, don't suffocate her. Back off, guys. I mean, yeah, you want to spend all your time with her. You want to do all these fun things and start building a relationship and being happy and all these amazing things that you can have in this relationship. Dude, you're going to suffocate her. Okay, don't. During the early stages of a relationship, it's hard to tear yourself away from that new woman or that new beau. Everything seems brighter when she or he's around, right? It's okay. Back away. Let her do her thing. You do your thing. Stop smothering your new love. Okay? You have to spend time apart, and you do. And guess what? It's okay. Doesn't mean she's going anywhere. Just means it's okay that you guys can have your own individuality, and that is the biggest thing. Now, don't avoid discussing important things. That was kind of something I touched on a little while ago. All right? Sometimes new relationships feel so blissful simply because you haven't broached any of the new unsexy practical things that need to be discussed in every relationship. Oh, like, okay, are you chalking up your girlfriend's constant lateness as an endearing personal quirk? Even though it makes you disrespected? Does her pet name for you make you cringe? I mean, seriously, guys, come on. These things matter. Get on them, okay? If it bothers you now, it's what's going to tear the relationship apart later, and it will. Okay, because it's going to build up. And then you start to resent. Remember, one of our earlier sessions, resentment. Let's avoid those. Okay? Don't keep her isolated, which means, you know something? Here's Mike. I'm just going to cut this straight. I have friends, long-term friends. I mean, friends that have been 30 plus years, my friends. They are going to be in my life until I'm dead, cold, hard in the grave, and if they're still alive, they're going to be talking about me, and they're going to be endearing comments. They're important to me, and any person I'm with is going to respect that, okay, and will not try to isolate me from my friends or my family. You don't do that. That's a big no-no, okay? And here's another thing. You ever hear that saying, you know, you're here so high that when you fall, man, you got a long way to go? Take her off a pedestal. Don't put her there, and don't put yourself there. Because you're looking at her as being so perfect that when she starts showing her character flaws, and she will because we all have them, you're going to be devastated. Oh my goodness. And it's like she's falling hard, okay? Let her be imperfect, okay? Because none of us are perfect. And don't talk about her constantly. Your friends, no doubt, are thrilled that you have this newfound love. Dude, give them a break. They don't want to hear it. They're glad, they're happy for you, but don't gloat. And here's the biggest thing. Don't become possessive. Back off. Your new girlfriend, she wants to spend Tuesday night with her friends out of town with doing this or doing that. Let her. Go do something of your own. You can't prevent her from spending time with other people, because otherwise it's going to cause her to become hostile. It's going to be stiffening, and ultimately it's going to short-live the relationship. Okay? And let's see here. I have so much I want to touch on in this, but I don't want to overwhelm y'all. So I'm just going to kind of just start mentioning a couple things, okay? Don't let her influence you, like try to get you to change who you are, okay? This is who you were in the beginning of the relationship. This is who she claims to like. Don't change. And don't try to change her, okay? And don't get mean. So if you guys ever have like some type of a disagreement, and you're going to, because it happens, don't allow pettiness or bickering or passive aggressiveness to create a hostile environment between y'all. Do not use those you statements. You statements are horrible. Like, well, you did this and you did that. Remember when you did that? Stop it. Take it out of your vocabulary. You own everything. Okay, now I'm using a you statement. You own everything. You have to own your part in the relationship. You, as a person, feel. Okay, so I'll give you a prime example. My ex, it was probably one of the most healthiest relationships I'd ever experienced. I did sit that out 5 years, probably way too long, but I did. And because I had hopes it would get better. It didn't, because I did not put my boundaries up in the beginning, which I should have. Okay, so here we go. I was tortured internally. So I allowed it. She was doing these things, but I have to own it. I allowed it. So you have to remember that. Set your boundaries, because otherwise you're allowing this type of treatment. Okay? And don't try to bend her will or allow her to bend your will. It's tempting to be subtly with these imperfections, try to get someone to change. Okay? Don't do that. And don't forget to enjoy yourself in the relationship. Out of all the things, enjoy yourself. Even despite both your best efforts, the new relationship will wear off eventually, and it does. Enjoy it while it lasts, because then now it becomes work. So the feeling of new love is one of the most incredible feelings we gift on this earth. So remember to fully inhibit it while it's happening. Older, comfortable relationships are lovely too, but make the most out of this precious honeymoon phase, because that's what it is. It's perfect. And enjoy it, because eventually it does become work. And then that is where you realize, okay, I have a little bit of work to do in this relationship. And that's true story, because you will. Okay? And when you're starting a new relationship, understand yourself sexually and emotionally. Big things. Because, thank you, Jade. People who are generally happy with their romantic choices spend more energy working on their own self-development than appearing a certain way to attract love. So instead of focusing on playing the game to entice a partner, put your focus on a few principles I'm going to mention. One, understand yourself sexually and emotionally. Okay? We all have a different emotional state than the next person. We're not like them, and they're not like us, and you need to remember that. Okay? Know your sexual preference. I mean, what do you like? What do you want in a romantic relationship? How are you willing to settle for someone who is not compatible that way? And that's something you need to discuss with that potential partner once you're in that situation, because it's going to become a problem later. Remember that, okay? Believe what people show and say about themselves. So if they're showing you something, it's common to attract somebody to want to rationalize their poor behavior. Okay? If someone treats you with disrespect or chronically lets you down, focus in on that because they're showing you who they are. Okay? Avoid somebody who is only wanting to have sex with you. Pay attention to those cues too. Okay? Because that's a cycle. And then that means there's no emotional intimacy. It's going to be more hastened sex. And those relationships are short-lived. Okay? Separate yourself from your parents, which means you're not your parents. You cannot, it's an easy task to do things and, when you're doing things as an adult, if you continue to allow your parents to meet all of your emotional needs, separate yourself from that. You need to be able to take care of yourself because you can't gain into a relationship with somebody if you are not emotionally and now stable. Okay? Put yourself in new situations. This is a pretty popular idea that in order to find the right partner, one must first work alone on self-improvement. Okay? Be open to things about yourself, things that maybe you see someone else do and say, I kind of like that. That's a way of self-improvement. I mean, there's things out there that you don't realize and things that you can do which are better for you, but you have to be willing to self-improve. Okay? So who's all in the room with me today? Say something. I see some names from when that we're talking. Say hi. And then I'm going to ask you to share because sharing is caring. People don't know about my sessions. Hey, Jade, can you share, please? And Linda, if you're still here, or Jane, or anyone else that's in here. But remember that other people, they would like the help too. So come on, sharing is caring, guys. All right. Now I'm going to go into this because I think this is really important. It's 6 things, okay, you should never stop asking for in your relationship. These are really important, guys. You need to remember that there are things that you need. You have fundamental needs, okay? Because relationships are a give and take. You give your time, thought, consideration, care, and love to your partner. And then you expect something in return, do you not? But people are different. Some of us give more, while others give less. Some expect to receive more, while others are more okay with receiving less than they give. Okay? So, sometimes what we're willing to give and accept in return doesn't align with how much our lover is willing to give and accept. When this happens, the relationship becomes filled with heated arguments, frustrations, emotions, more tears and smiles. We don't want that. So this is why communication is key. Now, if you're wondering how you can learn to be a better communicator, go back. I have a video on that too. You need to keep an open dialogue between yourself and the person you love. You need to always want to learn more about each other, to always want to understand him or her a little better in order to make it necessary in your adjustments. Okay? Otherwise, it becomes exhausting. And then you might not be with the right person, and you're putting a lot of energy into nothing. So don't expect your lover to read your mind. None of us, we're not mind readers. Your soulmate or not, you can't expect your partner to always be in tune with your wants and your needs. Your partner has his or her own life, and they need to worry about that as well. Talk to your partner and ask whatever it is you need. Make it easier for both of you. Okay? Mm-hmm. And that's just the biggest advice I could honestly give. Don't expect your partner to read your mind. Remember that. It's funny. If we all just learn to use our words and ask for the things that we want in life, we'd all be whole and happier. Countless relationships fail because neither person asks for what they want. People are either too afraid to ask or they think they shouldn't have to ask. Big mistake right there, guys. Never feel that you shouldn't have to ask, because you do. You do. I've heard that several times. I shouldn't have to ask. Yes, you do. Because your partner may be caught up somewhere else, and that's the last thing on their mind. So have some consideration. Ask. Okay? There's nothing wrong with asking. Now, that's where your consideration comes in. Being in a relationship with someone means being considerate. Sure, you can split decisions to make things more efficient. However, you should be part of all the important decisions. Don't be afraid to let your partner know you want a larger part in any decision-making process. Remember time. It's a day by day. And just about everyone has passions and goals that they're pursuing outside of this relationship. Finding the right balance between work and life is the only way to achieve happiness. If you're not getting enough time with the person you love, let him or her know. Of course, be considerate. And what he or she can accomplish, and make compromises, because sometimes you got no choice. You're going to have to make a compromise, as long as it is not compromising your integrity. Okay? Presence. This is a big one. The only thing worse than having a lover that is never there is having one that is not there mentally when he or she is there physically. Noticing that the person you love isn't there with you in the moment hurts like hell. You finally have some time together, yet it feels like you're even further apart. And you ever hear that terminology, I'm in a relationship and I'm alone? That is that. It's not always easy to shut off the crap going on in our lives, but these moments make life worthwhile. So ask your partner to be with you. Be present. Okay? And then show some empathy. Empathy goes a big way. You'd think we'd be able to always empathize with one another, the people that we love, and usually we're good at it, but that's not always correct, because life gets in our way, and we have to learn to stop and walk in our partner's shoes and other people's shoes around us, because it's not all about us. Empathy is a channel of love that flows through. It's the way our souls communicate, the connection, allowing for that initial spark. It's also something that we need to remember to keep working on, especially when our personal lives become just out of control. Okay? And then, oh my goodness, here we go, the novelty. This is a big thing, because relationships start falling apart the moment we decide we're happy with things exactly the way they are. This is not to say that you shouldn't be happy with the way things are, because you should be. But you should always be aiming to experience new things together. So don't be afraid. I mean, come on, guys. Get out there and do something you haven't done before together. I mean, don't put yourself in danger doing it, but do something different, What's the goal of your relationship? Think about it. If it's to get married, have kids, and grow old together, then your relationship is going to fail. Big goals are continually important, but what's more important are the little goals we can create in ourselves every day. So, passion thrives on novelty. It does. It comforts, and it's complacency that kills it. If things are starting to feel a bit bland, don't be afraid to ask to spice things up. In and out of the bedroom, guys. There are novelty stores if things are that draining in there or that stiff. And I really don't know how to put that without getting into that. Okay. So, and then there's the effort that you're going to put into it. At the end of the day, the only thing you can really ask for is true effort. People aren't perfect. You're just as flawed as your better half. We make mistakes. We lose touch with ourselves. So losing touch with the relationship is only a natural conclusion. We spend most of our lives losing ourselves and finding ourselves all over again. Why would you think a relationship is any different? This is not about how far things seem to be drifting away from you. This is about how much of an effort you are both making to keep the love and have a life. Okay? If you don't think your partner is making an effort, then say so. Ask him or her to put you ahead of all the other things that's going on at that moment. And it's okay to ask. Okay? This is where you're going to learn. If you get a negative out of that, then you have to ask yourself, am I not important to this person? And you have to then don't internalize it. Is there something wrong with me? Because this may be the way that person is that you did not do in the beginning with your deal breakers. Okay? That's why deal breakers are so important. Of course, be reasonable and willing to compromise, but help your partner understand that without an effort, there's no real reason to stay a part of each other's lives. Okay? Now, we are almost 40 minutes into today's session. I would love some feedback. Who's with me at the moment? And I will wait because I know it takes a moment. Because I want to talk about consideration. But I want a little bit of feedback from you. Who's in here with me today? Say hello. Hello. I'm typing it out. Okay, so we're here, but we're not here, and that is fine. So let's talk about being in a successful relationship, being considerate. Okay. Well, hey, Jen. So, do you have anything you'd like to say? Any feedback? Anything we've gone over? I love input very much so. Okay. While you're typing that up, I'm going to go over being considerate. Okay. So, relationships can be hard to control, but knowing the basics of any relationship, whether it is a significant other, friends, or family, will help you better yourself and the connection you have with someone. Investing in any relationship is always worth your time, as you may find an unspoken bond that person is having an amazing relationship with an individual. You may be that individual. You never know what will come out of a good bond when you use just 3 elements. Okay? So one is compromise. We did discuss that a little while ago. Compromising is a big thing because, we all have different lives. We all have different things. Sometimes you have to see what's more important. And as long as you're not compromising your integrity, remember, you're good. But you got to ask yourself, can I compromise that? And that's going to be a big thing, okay? But you can only get to do that through communication. So make sure you're communicating avidly with your partner. And I don't care if it's someone you met a week ago. Come on, we have to have that communication. We have to have all the above, the fundamentals, the deal breakers, the consideration, I want to be romanced a little maybe. So what do you have here? These relationships, but with their friends all being their exes, and okay, so and that is a problem, and I'm going to agree. Some people they maintain relationships with their exes. I've dated several that do. Okay, and something that's okay. I have a few exes that are actually really good friends of mine. I wouldn't have it any other way because they actually were better friends at the end of the day. So did we have some intimacy? Well, yeah. And may that bother a new partner? And it could. But if they understand that that is just what it is, it's a friendship. Nothing's going to come out of it. You have to allow that insecurity that you're having at that moment about that friendship and put it off. If for some reason it's becoming an issue and the ex knows more about your relationship than you do, then you need to just have that discussion, and that's where communication is going to come in. Now, in your case, you're saying they're still wanting to be with your significant other. Well, as long as they're not creating any trouble, I wouldn't worry about it, because as long as you're secure in your relationship with your partner, you're okay. But you need to have this discussion with your partner. Communicate. Okay? Seriously, communicate. Okay, and they're being honest. They're disclosing they want her. But you have to be confident in your relationship. It's like, all right, it's like a couple going to a nightclub. They're going to go out. They're going to have a good time. Maybe one is going to dance with 100 people there. And the one partner is totally okay with it. Because there's that trust and there's that knowing. She may be dancing with them. She's coming home with me. So you have to ask yourself where your trust and insecurity is, where if they're conflicting. Do you trust her? If you do, fantastic. Communicate with her. Let her know that kind of bothers you and see what she says about it. But keep that dialogue going. Okay? Very important. Keep the dialogue going. And that's the best advice I can give you. And that is being considerate, because you're communicating with her. You're being considerate. You're letting her know that I care and I love you. But this kind of bothers me a little bit. So I'm just sharing that with you. And here we go back to the consideration, which I wanted to touch on some more. And that is, remember that she needs to know you're thinking about her. And if you're dating a woman, us women, we're not needy, not all of us. Some are needy, very needy. Some are not, but we do need one thing, and that is to know that you are thinking about us. If we go a whole day and we don't hear from you, that wheel turns. And what's going on inside our head is, okay, I'm not even an afterthought for you to say, hey, what's going on throughout the day? That is being very inconsiderate, and it's something you're going to have to work on. Okay? The best thing for me to show when I care for somebody is the little things. And I send good morning texts. I've sent probably about 15 every morning to my friends and family. I do this because I want them to know they matter to me. Okay? And that is being considerate. It doesn't matter what type of relationship that's in. But this is something you can work on now. Be considerate. Start showing that people around you matter, if it's in a relationship or not. Now, I have a little over, just a little under 15 minutes. There you go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to run down different ways to show up in your relationship, because you can be in any type of relationship, but being present. You have to show up in your relationship. Be there. Be part of it. Because, good gracious, if you're sitting across the room and this goes on every day and you're not here, that's a roommate situation. Let's break that. Okay, so do you show up in your relationship? Are you really, truly there for your partner with full presence and commitment? Or do you show up simply by being physically available? That's what I just talked about. If so, you may need to think there for your partner, though you're missing in spirit. Odds are you're giving the relationship as much as you have time and energy for, but are treating your relationship as another to-do item in your life. Do you want to be a to-do item? Your partner doesn't either. Or maybe you're just there because you don't want to be alone. Okay, then you need to get out, because that is not fair to your partner. Just break it. End it. If you can't be there, don't be there at all. Okay? And hard truth, guys. Regardless of the reason behind your emotional unavailability, you fail to show up authentically, and your relationships have likely been short-lived and unfulfilled as a result. So there's your history. Okay? Here's good news, though. If you're truly looking for a committed and satisfying relationship, and that's why you'll be here, you're looking for that help. You want to become healthier and a better you. So you can do better. Here are some ways that you can be authentic and be present in your relationship. And I'm going to go over those with you. 1, say what you feel. Let your partner know how you're feeling. 2, show up when you say you're going to. Be on time, if not early. Be authentically you. That means do not be someone you're not. There's no reason to act like somebody you're not. Your partner will know soon enough your true personality and characters, and they will know you lied to them. Show compassion to yourself, for your partner and others. Extend kindness, empathy, and understanding to your partner instead of judgment and demands. That's what love is all about. Practice compassion with yourself, friends, and family members too. The more practice that you have, the more love, grace, and ease you'll feel in the faucets of your life. I promise you. Let go of small stuff. Let it go. It's not important. Small things tend to be big things unless you learn to see the small things for what they are. They're just little irritations. Okay? Communicate how you feel and then let them go. Be considerate. There we go. Back to consideration. I mean, come on, guys. Consider it. Think of your partner ahead of time. If you're at the grocery store and you see there's a special on, maybe her favorite kind of apple or fancy cheese, pick some up as a tiny surprise. Do something thoughtful for her or him. Be kind in whatever way is available to you. Kindness is a practice, and it's especially important when you're feeling at your best. Be open at heart. Cultivate bliss in your heart center. Whenever you're where you need to be, meditate, yoga, or whatever kind of practice that gets you in touch to where you're able to be more profound. Okay? Make plans. Have a plan for a date or a weekend. Oh man, date nights, guys, are important. You need to spend some quality time with your partner once a week. I don't care if you can't afford to go out and eat and go places, go for a walk. Make time for your partner. Make plans. Surprise your partner. Little gifts. You know, if you can't afford it, write her a poem. Make her a card. There doesn't have to be a lot behind it. It's the fact that you thought about her. Okay? Surprise her. Cut your annoying behavior. That's a big thing. If you know something gets on her nerves or his nerves, stop it. Be mindful. Seriously. Don't think it's funny, because it's not funny. And it's not. And don't issue ultimatums. Never, ever, ever start a war. Never tell your love, this is the way it's going to be, or. Because now you're threatening to hurt them. And that ends any relationship. And focus on the relationship at times. Research shows multitasking doesn't work with your life, and it's likely doesn't work with your relationships. Focus on your efforts, on the person who must fulfill you and the potential you have with them. Okay? Be present during tense conversations. Listen, observe, pay attention, ask questions, care. Be genuine in how you express your emotions. Say what you're feeling, not what you think will sound good. Okay? Explore how you can be helpful, even if you're not being asked. Guys, come on. Let's look for ways to help, care, or share with your partner. Maybe you see her walk through the door and she looks really tired. Well, if there's dishes, do them. Come on. Help. Do the work if you have to. I mean, sometimes we have to pull sometimes more weight. A relationship goes up and down, and it's give and take. Be willing to work through rough patches and hard times and help your partner. Consciously create time for each other. Consciously be aware that's what that means. It may sound unromantic to have to schedule time to see your partner with everything going on, but you know something, if you're that busy, you gotta do it. Schedule it. Be conscious and create time for each other. Adjust your behaviors and attitudes as much as you need to. So if something isn't working, find out what does. Talk about it. Communication. Imagine that, huh? Make improvements. If something is going okay, see what you can do to make it even better. Strive to do better. Give more than you gave yesterday. That's a good thing. So if you gave something yesterday, give a little bit more. You know, kind of sweet. Don't keep score. And that's right after I said that, because some people think, well, I did more yesterday, I did more today, and da-da-da. You're keeping score. Stop. Stop it. You're not trying to get ahead, or this is no race. You're not trying to find a compatible partner for life. Or are you? You win when love wins. Okay? Respect yourself. Value yourself, and the things you do, be aware. And make sure no one takes advantage of you. Dress up for your partner. You know, you're not trying to impress them, but try to look good. I mean, don't let yourself fall apart. You know, don't get so comfortable in that relationship that you're like, ugh, okay? No, don't do that. Recognize power of persistence. Stay persistent when the road gets tough, and it's going to, because life. Okay? Share the housework. It's not fair that one does it all. Get up there and you do it together. Cook together. Do everything together. You're a team. There's no I in the word team. Stay positive. Be encouraging. Always encourage. If your partner's a little unhappy, encourage. Encourage better habits. Encourage better goals, happiness, exercise, good sleep. I mean, just encourage. Okay? Don't compare yourself to your ex. Get out of it. Get out of that habit. It does not exist. That is the past. Don't compare your partner to a fairy tale character who isn't real, because that's a high expectation for anybody to live. Start every day with a clean slate. It's a brand new day. Let today's battery and fights die today. Okay? Let the imperfections of today pass. Tomorrow is a new day. Start over. Never use the word never or always during conflict. Harsh words and extreme language doesn't bring you closer together. It only pushes you two further apart. Watch the words you use with each other, because globalizing language is not productive and will only accelerate the conflict, and it will. Okay? Prioritize your partner with your daily life. Is she not important to you? Seriously. Okay? You have 100 things to do each day. Put your partner on the to-do list. Make sure she or you put them up with the top 5 things. So your partner's up there. Show individual attention. Okay? But remember, she is not a to-do, or he is not a to-do. But make it there as being important with all the other things you're doing. Okay? Have your partner's back, especially when other people aren't being supportive. Being supportive when others are not, being encouraging when others are not, being there when no one else is. That's so important. Write love notes to each other. Oh my God, that is so cool. I love that. Okay? Keep the romance alive. Put some effort into romancing him or her. Turn something ordinary into something special. Light a candle, a lamp, incense, stick. Pour something sweet to drink. You know, if you don't drink alcohol or wine or anything, you know, get something else. I mean, be creative. Okay? Then know when to call it quits. Keep working on your relationship. This is until you feel it's no longer working. If you've been in it for years without any changes, find the courage to call it quits if it's destructive. Sometimes letting go is the best thing you can do. A great relationship takes more than showing up. It requires showing up as who you are, a willingness to work through the challenges, and being fully present to your partner. Don't just call it in. Put in some effort to really show up at your next relationship. The more you put into your relationship, the more you'll get out of it. And this is a fact. So, I think we are done for today. I've covered all my bases. We discussed starting the new relationships. We discussed being present. We discussed the do's and don'ts. Just remember, guys, some really important things, and it's so easy when starting a relationship. And this is for you, for all of you who are venturing into a new partnership with somebody. Deal breakers. Remember those deal breakers. If something bothers you, if it's something that's important to you and this person is not doing it, it's going to become 100 times worse, or it's going to bother you that much more as time goes on. So you have 2 choices. You can deal break it now and say, you know, I'm just not really into this. Or, this kind of bothers me, and either you're really wanting me or you're not. But the very beginning of any type of relationship, the first month is a make or break. So if the person is not present with you and you require some presence, which we all do, then it's a deal breaker. If she or he is dwelling on exes or constantly talking about an ex, this person is living in the past. That should be a deal breaker, because that person is a train wreck. They're not ready to move on into a new, functional, healthy relationship. So there's a lot of little things, and we're going to discuss that the next time. I want to go over train wrecks, and that is what the title of our next session will be. And that is people who, as much as they want to be in a relationship with somebody, they haven't been able to move on into anything healthy because they've not used the fundamental tools, or they're just not ready. And you and I, who are functionally, emotionally ready to endure, to enter, to give ourselves, would be the, I don't want to say victim of that train wreck, but we would definitely be impacted by that. And it could create a resentment or for us to feel jaded. So, therefore, there's a lot to think about. But we are done, and this is a wrap. And I do apologize for not being here for the last couple weeks, but with the holidays and everything else going on, I've had a lot going on. I just graduated with my bachelor's in psychology, and I've been busy. Bye, guys. Have a great day and be present. Bye.